It really pains me to say this. Actually, it don't. But this whole Nas ghostwriting thing has me wondering, who wrote Ether? Ether is one of my favorite songs of all time. And the irony is the fact that Sheetha, to me, is one of the greatest diss records of all time by a woman. We all know that Remy Ma's diss track to Nicki Minaj, but the irony is that they said Pat Poose actually wrote Sheetha. He was the ghostwriter and the mastermind behind Sheetha. And it all comes full circle because now they're saying that Nas had a ghostwriter. So it may be safe to say that Jay-Z won by default. Jay-Z may have walked away the winner and the Nas versus Jay-Z beef because, hey, it's safe to say, we may now have to question Nas' pen. To me, Nas is still one of the greatest rappers of all time. But if he's had help writing those bars, according to Quentin Miller, because, when it came to Drake, just look at the double standard. People are so biased, hypocritical, and biased. When it comes to someone that they love, they get a pass. Now, when it was Drake and Quentin Miller came out and said the exact same thing, the way he came out and had to defend himself and he had to clarify and clear things up is the same exact thing that he did with Drake. But they automatically, in the court of public opinion, Drake was found guilty. They automatically said, nope, Drake had ghostwriters. All they had was reference track. This could have been anybody. Now, if y'all are saying that Quentin Miller is a liar and he's chasing clout, then he was lying about everything, which means he never wrote for Drake. Those reference tracks was put out because he was trying to get clout. We were fooled. We were duped. According to y'all, if he's lying about that, he's lying about everything. Y'all pick and choose because y'all like Nas. For all we know, Quentin Miller could have heard Drake's songs and put them out after and said he ghost wrote for Drake. Go on YouTube like everybody else do, except for me. If the police is listening, the government, whoever is listening, he converted the format from YouTube to MP3, downloaded the instrumental, and then all he did was went in the studio and recorded himself rapping Drake 10 bands or rapping Drake's If You Read and It's Too Late songs. He put his own spin onto it and then said it was a reference track. According to y'all, he's a liar. So everything has been a lie and Drake has had no ghostwriters. And if that's the case, Drake is the GOAT. My brother introduced me to Nas when I was younger. Not like literally introduced me to him and I met this nigga at a barbershop or something. But he introduced me to Nas and, he put me on to Nas early on. One Mic is one of my favorite songs all time. One of my favorite songs of all time. And I got to tell this quick story, right? Me and my sister, a long time ago, we didn't like my brother girlfriend. We had wrote this diss track about my brother girlfriend. So we was about to do the follow up to it. Like one day we played the song for him and he sat there, he was about to cry, cause he wanted us to like his girlfriend, right? So me and my sister, we was about to do a follow up diss record. Like we was about to do a second diss track. And instead of naming it One Mic, my brother girlfriend at the time, she was out of shape, I say. She was overweight. So instead of doing One Mic, we was going to do the remake version called One Bite. But does Jay-Z win by default? I don't know. I still think that Nas' diss track was one of the most greatest diss tracks of all time. Phenomenal. But, according to many people, including Dame Dash, I've been hearing that they said that Jay-Z's diss record was based in pure facts. So they said a lot of things in Nas' lyrics were make-believe. They were made up. They were fake. There were a web of lies in Nas' diss track. But Jay-Z, The Takeover, that was a fire song as well. So if Jay-Z It hasn't been alleged that Jay-Z got ghostwriters. He took a break from rap. He retired. He dropped the Black album. He was able to go on with his career. He was able to become a billionaire. He's dropped some classic albums. So it's safe to say that Jay-Z won the battle and the war. We might have to anoint Jay-Z as the winner now. Because if Quentin Miller was throwing out bars, who was throwing out bars before? We don't know. But if we going by y'all standards, the criteria of being one of the greats and having one of the greatest diss tracks of all time, and Nas catching a body, he's now been disqualified according to y'all. And let's be honest, because seeing people in the Shade Room comments talk about, oh, now Drake is jealous that, Nas done grabbed his boo 21 Savage for a track, for a collab. Well, it turns out that that song ended up being whack, dumpster juice, trash. It's crazy because they clown Drake and they said that Drake was doing all this twerking. They label him as zesty and fruity, yet Nas did a song with Lil Nas X. So Nas was working with Quentin Miller. He got help on them bars. Quentin Miller said he's not a ghost. He said this is not Power with Omari Hardwick. This is not no Patrick Swayze. He's not Casper. He's a human being who wrote for Nas. So who wrote Ether? Now we got to question Nas' pen. Did Nas write One Mic? Did Nas write Ether? A lot of those classic records, did Nas write it? This is like finding out years later that Barry Bonds was on steroids. Now we thought Nas won. It turned out that Jay-Z, this record, aged well and won in the long run. It aged better with time. Let's just analyze the lyrics. He says, I know you miss it, Nas, the fame, but along with celebrity comes about 70 shots to your frame. Nigga, you a lame. You the egg model for Carl Kanai Esco ass. Went from nasty Nas to Esco's trash. Had a spark when you started, but now you're just garbage. Fell from top 10 and not mentioned at all. Oh my God, how that came full circle. That gotta burn. That sting. Fell from top 10 and not mentioned at all. Based on the way y'all judge rap, or if Nas had a ghostwriter for Ether Son, then that means he fell from top 10 and shouldn't be mentioned at all. It seemed like Jay-Z was playing chess and not checkers. But let's continue. He said, to your bodyguards, Uchi Wally verse better than yours. And people had a nerve to say that Eminem verse was better than Jay-Z on that Renegade record. Personally, I couldn't relate to Eminem's bars, his verses. So I'm still going to give Jay-Z the nod. The beat was nice, though. The beat sounded like one of those, something that you would hear in a conspiracy video, one of them Illuminati videos on YouTube. But it says, matter of fact, you had the worst flow on the effing song. But I know the sun don't shine if sun don't shine. That's why you lame. Careers come to an end. It's only so long fake thugs can pretend. Like, this is like being at a battle. He said, nigga, you ain't live it. You witnessed it from your folks' pad. You scribbled it in your notepad and created your life. I showed you your first tech on tour with Large Professor. Me, that's who. Then I heard your album about your tech on the dresser. So yeah, I sampled your voice. You was using it wrong. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. And you ain't get a coin, meaning that he ain't get a dime from it. Nigga, you was just getting effed in. I know who I paid. God. Searchlight Publishing. Use your brain. You said you been in this 10. I've been in it 5. Smarten up. Nas, 4 albums in 10 years, nigga. I could divide. That's one every, let's say, 2 years. Let's say 2. 2 of them was due. One was Nah. The other was Illmatic. That's a one hot album every 10-year average. Oh my God. And that's so lame. You switch your flow. Your shit is garbage. What you trying to kick knowledge? Y'all just gotta learn to respect the king. Don't be the next contestant on that Summer Jam screen. Because you know who? Did you know what? With you know who? But let's just keep that between me and you. Bodied him. Don DeMarco, URLTV.tv, you heard?